grown, as I've recently relocated to a different state. I had some inkling that the end was near, but I had hoped it wouldn't be so soon. I've been keeping a safe distance for the past few weeks, but now I'm left to confront the reality that I'll never be able to see her again. I'm trying to find the words to process my emotions, but it's hard when those around me seem to be struggling to cope. My loved ones are still reeling from the news, and while they're trying to be supportive, they don't know how to reach out to me right now. My kids are even more confused, unable to understand why their mother is consumed by such overwhelming sadness. This is my third attempt at sharing this story, and the pressure to articulate my feelings is made even more daunting by the platform I'm using. The anonymous nature of this community is a double-edged sword, providing a sense of to all the idiots that pretend to have a gluten allergy because you think it's a personality trait, I love you. Because of this unbelievably stupid trend, I can go on dates with my husband in pretty much any restaurant. He has celiac disease, and before every restaurant had a heartwarming thank you to the so-called gluten-intolerant crowd who unwittingly paved the way for greater inclusivity and flexibility in dining. While this absurd trend may seem ridiculous at face value, it has brought about a profound impact on my life with my husband, who lives with celiac disease. Before the widespread adoption of gluten-free menus and labeling, venturing out to restaurants often required exhaustive research and a barrage of questions for waiters who were just as clueless as we were. However, your actions have helped create a more accessible and accommodating world for people like me and my husband. I must admit, I'm grateful for the progress made in this regard. Now, if we could see a similar shift in attitude towards accessibility for the mobility impaired, perhaps we'll finally see the widespread implementation of ramps and other essential accommodations, making public spaces truly inclusive and welcoming for all. Unionized UPS drivers in Ohio deliver compliance maliciously. Source: UPS has been requiring drivers to work Saturdays as overtime to avoid hiring more full-time employees. The drivers have been resisting and ignoring the warning letters given. UPS sought to increase UPS drivers in Ohio make a stand against unfair work policies. Source: a long-standing dispute between UPS management and unionized drivers in Ohio has been brewing over the company's decision to require overtime on Saturdays rather than hiring additional full-time employees. The drivers have consistently pushed back against this policy, choosing to ignore warning letters from the company. In response to UPS's attempt to increase penalties for non-compliance, the drivers devised a clever plan. On a recent Saturday, the full contingent of drivers reported for work, far exceeding the number needed to handle the day's workload. As a result, the lower-paid part-time workers were sent home early, while the full-time drivers worked a full shift, entitled to overtime pay. This strategic move effectively highlighted the company's unwillingness to address the issue and find a more equitable solution. AITA for pushing my wife when she hit our son? I 32M am married to my wife 31F. We have a son together 6M. Last night I came home from work early at 6 p.m. and caught my wife violently slapping my son. I was appalled by this as I've never seen her do it, and I don't agree. Am I the asshole for intervening in my wife's punishment of our son? I'm a 32-year-old man, married to a 31-year-old woman, and we have a 6-year-old son together. Yesterday evening, I came home early from work at 6 p.m. and witnessed my wife physically striking our son. The sight shocked me, as it was the first time I've seen her behave in such a manner. I've always disagreed with aggressive discipline methods and immediately stepped in to stop the incident. However, my wife refused to heed my warning, which led me to take more decisive action and gently but firmly separate her from our son. Now, my wife has complained to my family, including my parents, and they've called me, scolding me for intervening and labeling me an asshole for pushing her away from our child. I'm now questioning whether I was in the wrong. Edit. I'd like to clarify that my intention was never to physically harm my wife but to protect our son from an unjust situation. I also want to emphasize that our son seemed shaken by the incident, but thankfully, he's okay. Update. I'll appreciate any advice on how to navigate this sensitive situation with my wife and family. And any suggestions AITA for saying I can't bring food to a party after traveling across the country? I am traveling to the opposite side of the country for the holidays. Getting there on Christmas Eve at 6 p.m, going to my sister's husband's family house for Christmas dinner. That family asked am I the a-hole for declining to bring food to a party after a long road trip? I'm heading to the opposite side of the country for the holidays. My arrival is set for Christmas Eve at 6 p.m, where I'll be attending a dinner at my sister's husband's family house. The family had asked me to bring a dessert for everyone to enjoy. However, I politely declined their request, citing my long journey and the time I'll be arriving. My response seemed to catch them off guard, as I received a reply indicating that everyone else was bringing food. It's clear that they are aware of my arduous travel plans and the exact time of my arrival. Am I the a-hole for not feeling up to stopping to get something on my way to the party? Edit: the original poster's intention seems to be that they wouldn't be able to get any food due to their late arrival time and the long travel. Update: the family's request was made with the knowledge that the original poster would be traveling from far away and would be arriving late. TLDR: am I the a-hole for not bringing dessert to a party after traveling across the country and arriving late? AITA: for calling a guy a loser after he said he didn't like my outfit? My 19F classmate, 19M, always says he likes that I wear jeans and sweatshirts and don't try to look nice. Which I didn't ask and I kind of take offense to. But this weekend, I ran into him at. Was I the asshole for telling a guy he was a failure after he made a comment about my outfit? My 19-year-old classmate, a 19-year-old male, often comments that he prefers the way I dress for school in casual attire like jeans and sweatshirts. This statement, unasked for and slightly condescending, rubs me the wrong way. This past weekend, I encountered him at a costume party where I decided to dress more formally. I wore a lacy corset with a matching skirt. He approached me and mentioned that he preferred my usual school attire, saying that dressing up would only lead to people objectifying me. I responded by calling him a loser, and implying that I didn't appreciate his opinion, reiterating that I didn't ask for it. He then called me a name and left the party. Edit: this post was edited for clarity and grammar. Update: this story has been updated to maintain reader engagement and comprehension. TLDR: a young woman wore a dressy outfit to a costume party, and her classmate, who often prefers her casual school attire, commented that she would only be objectified if she dressed up. The young woman called him a loser, which led: my grandfather wants me to prank people after his dies. He told me that at his age he hasn't got very long left and asked me to promise to do something. He said he'll give me his phone and after